target is to become a better economic, no? So, economic or global economy. So, the region's po economy is already similar in the size of those in Europe, okay, in the North America, and also its influence in the world continues, no, or in the world continues to increase. In many Asian countries po, the cycle of poverty has been broken, no? Hindi ko sinasabing as in totally naghiwalay, pero meron pa rin problem tayo. Okay? So, unti-unti, gradually, ano nila, no? Sinisira na nila para papunta na tayo dun sa pinaka main objective talaga ng Asian, yung regionalism na tinatawag. Asia's ordinary success has brought new challenges, sabi dyan, while rapid economic growth remain a priority. So citizens demand that it's all be sustainable and more inclusive. So ito po yung objective ng sustainability development. So lahat po ngayon, nakafocus doon sa 17 goals ng sustainable development. Diba? Kasi dati, ang hirap ang daming mga gaps na nangyayari. So ngayon, dahil doon sa gaps na yan, kailangan mag-improve na in order to attain yung lahat ng mga gaps na na-experience natin from the past. So ang Asia ngayon ay nagbabago na. Dati tayong nilulook out as the poorest, pero ngayon, yung term ng South and North ay maaaring mapalitan. Bakit? Yung South kasi ay hindi mo na siya masasabing South region. Dahil marami ng bansa from the South, sa South rather, ay nag-i-improve na. At in fact, sabi nga in fact, sabi dyan, mas nagiging better na kaysa doon sa mga western or mga nasa northern regions na tinatawag. So the Asia is now so important, baka yata lumpas ako, ayan, so important to the world economy that is not, or it must also play a larger role in a global economic leadership. Regional economy cooperation is essential for addressing these challenges. Kaya tignan nyo yung picture, buhat-buhat natin, kumbaga nagpapasahan tayo dun sa globe. Iniiwasan natin na yung globe ay bumagsak, kaya yung kamay dapat hand in hand. Ito ngayon ang Asia. Nagtutulungan tayo through the so-called regional cooperation. Okay? Many Asian countries po, the cycle is of poverty has been broken nga, and others naman po is it is a historic aim, okay, within sight, sabi natin. Now, as I mentioned kanina, through the global or objective, no? So through the sustainable development goals, so ayan po 'yan. So makita nating picture, yung kamay color white pero siya ay mayroong background na isang color green na may isang globalized or developed community. Ibig sabihin, we tend to continue yung development but we should not forget the three pillars, no? O yung one of the pillars of the sustainable development, and that is the environment. Okay? So the priority now, sabi rito, Asia extraordinary success has brought a new challenges while the rapid economic growth remain a priority. Okay? Citizens demand that also a sustainable and more inclusive. So we need cooperations through the so-called economic, sabi nga natin, through the so-called global economic leadership. So ibig sabihin, ito tinatawag nating bilateral meeting, o yung mga tinatawag nating pagtotok, no, mga pag-uusap within the circle of a certain areas. So pag sinabing within the circle, yung organizations, yung mga kung ano-ano mga organization or within the sphere of that organization. So yun, nag-uusap-usap sila. So they're talking about what kind of issues that they need to address, like for example, yung political issues, no? Ano ba yung mga political issues, no? Like for example, yung sa wars, yung security, yung populations, and even of course health, kasama po yan, pinag-uusapan nila. Even of course yung ecology, lahat po yan pinag-uusapan. And the reason why they're talking of it is to settle yung mga problems, kasi ito yung nagiging problema natin ngayon Diba? Kagaya halimbawa yung mga tinatawag nating disputes. Kagaya sa Pilipinas, laban sa China. Diba? Nagkakaroon tayo ng misunderstanding kasi may kanya-kanya tayo mga perspective, pero kung lahat tayo mag-uusap sa maayos, sa sistemang tama, siguro walang magiging problema. Walang magiging threat o yung tinatawag na warning sa possible na tinatawag na Third World War. So the regional economic development or cooperation is an important means to create new trade, investment, and employment opportunities, also enhancing economic security and even addressing broader socio-economic and environmental issues. Yet, significant challenges continue to hinder a greater cooperation and even integration. So normally, the Economic Cooperation Organization, or we call it the ECO, is an Asian political and economic intergovernmental organization which was founded no in 1985 in Tehran by the leaders of Iran, Pakistan, and Turkey. E tandaan po natin itong mga bansa na to dati magugulo lalo na sa Iran. No, kaya more on weapons sila, talagang hindi mo maintindihan. So it also provide with this ECO, it provides a platform to discuss a way to improve yung development and promote trade and investment opportunities. Magulo na, hindi pa sila nakakapag-trade o nakakapag-trading kasi meron silang system eh. 'Di ba? Parang no, nagkakaroon sila ng barrier na dapat hindi ka tayo makipag-trade. So nagkakaroon ngayon ng problema yung mga tao. So ngayon, through the ECO, 'di ba? So binigyan ng opportunity ngayon yung mga bansang 'yan. Kaya nagkaroon na ng participation. So in the modern world system is now what we call global economy with a global political system which is called the modern interstate system. So what is now actually the purpose? As I mentioned kanina, the purpose of this interstate system is to include all the types of problems, no, like yung mga cultural aspects, no, and interaction networks and human population of the earth. So yan yung mga pinag-uusapan. Actually madami yung cover niyan. Okay? So pinag-uusapan nila so that masettle po yung mga dapat na isettle. So the global governance is is necessary because humanity increasingly faces both the problems and opportunity that are global in scale. At present, sabi dyan, transnational problems such as yung mga violence, which is very popular ngayon, and pandemic, ayan po, meron na tayong bagong sakit, Anong pangalan nun? Ano pangalan nung gamo, sa Nafi? Nafi ba yon? Anong pangalan ng virus ngayon? Nakalimutan ko. Sasabihin ko na naman NAFTA. Basta may fee sa dulo. O ano man yon, di ba? Yan yung problema ngayon. Routinely reach across borders and affecting all of us. So the most important challenge for humanity to overcome is the existentialist risk. Okay? So that's why, in the perspective of global governance, so nandiyan po yung to examine the gaps in the international system for managing complex issues and engage stakeholders on the practical steps for collective problem solving. Kaya tignan niyo po yung picture natin. Nandun tayo sa isang globe, hindi tayo lumalampas, no? Umbrella natin si globe, so ibig sabihin po, protektahan natin si globe, at the same time, poprotektahan din tayo ni globe. Isa man lang lumabas dyan, hindi na magiging successful. Okay? So that's why ito yung kailangan natin. We need cooperations, we need dialogues. No, we need the leaders to dialogue all the kind of issues so that masettle, sabi natin, yung problems. So it pays also particular attention in informing successful multilateral negotiations, o ayan po yan, on creating or reforming global institutions and to engaging more effectively new transnational actors, from a private sector and even the civil society. So tinatouch na rin natin sila. Global governance or world governance also, another term po yan, is a movement towards political cooperation. So kaya tingnan niyo pag binato mo po yung bola sa likuran mo at maliit yung isa, ibig sabihin maliit na bansa, tutulungan. So sasaluhin naman ng isang bansa para hindi bumagsak si globe. So ibig sabihin, ang objective nitong global governance is magtulungan tayo. So they are making policies, mga procedures para lahat mag-benefit. Maaaring yung matataas na bansa, manayaman, nasasalo nila, but that time, tutulungan tayo dapat. Okay? So, the core theme of global justice through business, labor, and economic governance focuses on the role of the private sector. Bakit? Kasi sila yung may kakayahan eh. 'Di ba? They have capital. Si government, hindi masyado. They are only rely from the taxes they collected to the people. Okay? So, nandyan yung multilateral economic institution, like example, yung G20. Pag sinabing G20, ito po yung mga country mayaman from the West, di ba? O yung mga G20, G5, G7, kasi may mga ganun eh. G7, G20, G whatever, lahat ng may G, bala sila, di ba? ASEAN, the EU, the WTO, and etc. And particularly, of course, the General United Nations po. So they strengthening the peace and security justice, which is number one problem kasi natin yan, yung security and justice dahil nagkakaroon po ng problema. Okay? By advancing or also shaping global norms and principle as well as the United Nations Sustainability Development Goals. So ano-ano po yan? 17 po yan. Nandyan po yung tinatawag na elevate ng poverty o extreme poverty. Nandyan din yung protection with an environment from air, water, and the land, no? Nandiyan din po yung protection for person, individual, the woman, no? Yung gender equality, andun po sila lahat. Okay? So yan po dapat ma-apply. So from the previous problem, lahat po gap. Okay? So that's why nagkaroon po tayo ng bagong goal o nagkaroon tayo ng goal which we call it the millennial development. So kailangan matanggal yung mga gaps na yan. So dahil sa millennial development goal, nagkaroon po ng 8 goals na tinatawag. But then, sabi nga, hindi po na-achieve. Kaya yung millennial goal, gumawa ng panibago to make it sustainable daw, ginawa nilang sustainability development or sustainable development goals, no? Na meron dinagdag silang 17. Bakit po naging 17? Kasi yung from 8, hindi po natatackle doon yung ibang issues. No? Particularly yung issues sa environment, issues sa mga workers, sa mga tao, hindi siya natatackle. Ang lagi natatackle is yung mga importante, which is, sabi nga, yung mga ibang importante. Yung environment hindi natatackle. Alam ng lahat na yung environment ang importante for the development ng globalization. Tinatawag. Kasi, gawa ka nga ng gawa ng produkto, tapos yung environment mo nasisira. And what, ano na mangyayari? So, nagkaroon ng 17. So, pinaghihiwa-hiwalay nila yung magkakasama. Kaya dumami po from 17. So, yung target from 2020, naging target po ay 2030. So, ngayon, 2026, okay, 2030 po yung target na dapat ay kahit pa paano na-achieve na natin. Eh, kayo na pong bahalang humusga. Kasi until now, nakita nating impact, nandiyan pa yung climate change o yung global warming. Again, so with activities undertaken under the theme aim to improve the global governance and of course of economic factors, including of course yung trade, although may problem sa trade kasi may implement si Trump administration, financial flows, yung labor and intellectual property by fostering innovations as well as by maximizing these factors to advance global peace, security, and justice, no? So by strengthening the role of the international institution in a faster and utilization of climate-friendly technologies. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga technology na gagamitin natin, friendly na. Ibig sabihin, hindi na umuusok na maitim. Kaya yung mga jeep, pinatatanggal na mga bulok kasi nagko-cause ng carbon dioxide yan. Tama ba ako? So, remember, may impact yan sa program ng sustainable development ng United Nations. So, para ma-achieve yung developing countries, dapat magawa natin yung 17 goals na yan. So, the role of the climate change as threat multiplier that places human security, no, and the global economy at risk in a cross-cultural or cross-cutting elements of global governance that will also frequently feature in research activities conducted within first this pillar. So, ano po yung mga pillars po dyan? Yung environment. Sabi ko nga, there are 3 pillars: economic, social, and environment. So, ang affected po, environment. Yung economic po at saka social na andyan eh. So, yung environment po, nawawala. Okay? In addition, this core theme will also prioritize migration management, including visa-fees, no, a current refugee, and internal displaced persona capital. So, nandyan po yung global migration issues. Ano po bang problem ngayon sa global migrations? Diba? May mga policy tayo dyan, but then may mga countries ayaw silang tanggapin. Kagaya yung nangyari sa Amerika, diba? Maraming pinadeport dahil sa kanilang economic cleansing. Eh di ba may mga agreement yan, kagaya sa mga Muslim affairs, yung tinatawag na DACA agreement nila, that they will stay in America, pero tinanggal na yung DACA agreement na yan, di ba? So, ayan. So, the world economy now, or known as the global economy, is the economy of the humans of the world, and it is considered as the international exchange of goods and services that is expressed, no, in a monetary unit and of account. In some contexts, the two terms are distinct, no? Nandiyan yung international or global economy, which is being measured to separately and distinguished from a national economy or economist. While the other one world is the world economy, it is simply as an aggregate, no, to the separate countries' measurement. So ibig sabihin, we should not compare our own standard of measurement or economic measurement to other countries. Madalas po ang mga Pilipino lagi sinasabi, bakit ang Amerika may ganito? Bakit ang Japan may ganito? Eh, bansa din naman tayo, bakit tayo wala? 'Di ba? Sabi ko nga kanina, we cannot compare kasi we have different standard of measurement. Okay? Beyond this minimum or beyond the minimum standard concerning values no in production used and exchange the definition, yung representation, even yung models po kasi na ginagamit natin iba-iba tayo. And even the valuations of the world economy was sabi to vary widely. So, it is inseparable from the geography and ecology. So, ibig sabihin, hindi sila pwedeng maghiwalay. Because in geography, it talks about the features, no? Ibig sabihin yung structure. Pero yung ecology, which is part of the geography, kasi kung ano yung mga pwedeng makuha doon, ano yung mga nabubuhay, di ba? Pag sinabing ecology, something is ecological, may mga buhay, may mga bagay na magagamit. So in the world ecology, sabi rito, or world of ecology, in the world of economy, sorry, okay, exclusively there is a word, a human economic activity, obviously. Because normally ano to, it referring to engagement, no, engaging product. So typically it judged in a monetary terms kasi laging may pera involved. Even in cases in which there is no, market to help value certain goods or services, or in cases in which a lack of independent research or government cooperation makes establishing figures difficult. There are different types of market. In a world economy, there are different problems. And these problems considered po siya the problems or the different types of market. So it says here, the illegal drugs and other known as mga black market goods which by any standard are part of the world economy. Kasi nasa process, no? Ibig sabihin, umaano siya, uh, kumbaga nasa loob siya nung community yung nagpa-participate siya. Kaya lang, talo ka dito, talo ang gobyerno. Bakit? Kasi this is an illegal work in the economy. So, kahit na nagpupursue tayo na magkaroon ng economic development to make it world, best economy, tawag na natin. Pero may mga problems tayo, hindi siya magiging okay. Kasi, yan yung nagpo-pull, no? So, what are these markets na yan? So, let's start with the black market. So, when say black market, it is an underground economy or shadowed economy. That's another term, okay? It is a clandestine market or a series of transactions that has some aspect of illegality or is characterized by some forms of non-compliant behavior in an institutional set of rules. Black market also, because of the tax evasion or participation in a black market activity, sabi rito, it is considered as illegal. Participants will attempt to hide their behavior from the government or regulatory authorities. Na dapat yan ay nasusurvise, na dapat yan nakukolektahan para namomonitor, di ba? Kaya lang, sabi ko nga kanina, sa world economy, nasasama siya, pero hindi siya nakakatulong for the government, no? So there is also the term used in this black market, no? Yung tinatawag nating cash usage. So gumagamit ng pera. 'Di ba? Uso tayo sa nagpapapalit ng pera sa black market. Sasabihin siya, saan ka nagpapalit, ma'am? Doon sa black market. Siyempre, ano ba yung black market? Yan po yung mga tindahan na nagpapalit ng pera sa ibang presyo, no? Na katulad ng presyo na iba sa presyo ng pinampapalit kapag sa bangko, 'di ba? So these are a means of exchange in illegal transaction since cash usage po does not leave a footprints. Kasi nga illegal 'di ba? Hindi siya nagbabayad. Okay? Common motives for the operating of the black markets are to trade contrabands. So ayan, they avoid taxes and even regulations from the government and or skirt price control or rationing. Okay? Typically, the totality of such activity is referred to with the definite articles as a completeness. Okay? to the official economies by market of such goods and services. So nandiyan po yung example dito, the black market in bush meat. Okay? So ayan po siya. Okay? Second market is the gray market. Gray market known also or similar to the term of parallel market. So may mga confusing, no? Parang similar daw siya sa parallel. Okay? So it refers to the trade of commodity through distribution channels that are not authorized by the original manufacturer or trademark proprietor. Okay? So its products po are traded outside at authorized manufacturer channels. So example natin dito yung Mighty Cigarette. Um, yung company po nagrereklamo kasi ang taas-taas ng binabayad ng tax sa government. Pero hindi nila makita bakit ganun kalaki tapos na-chargean sila ng government. Yung pala, yung product nila ay ginagawa outside sa manufacturing nila, sa company nila. So, ibig sabihin, nakakapag-produce ng mga product na ang itsura ay katulad ng Mighty product. So, nung nag-conduct ng investigation ang government, tapos nag-conduct sila ng check no sa mga delivery, nabuksan ng mga authorities, no, nabuksan ng isang van, no, cargo van, na binuksan nila yan. Pagbukas, nakita nila ay mga mighty product, at na-discover nila ay lahat po yon ay falsificated. Ibig sabihin, sila po ay mga tampered, yung logo, yung printed, etc. So doon nahuli. So ngayon, ito po yung tinatawag nating gray market. Okay? Kaya yung mga medicines natin, di ba, minsan nakala natin ay tama, di ba, parang original. Kaya minsan pinag-iingat tayo na masyado dapat maging careful tayo sa pagbili ng gamot sa market kasi hindi mo alam eh. 'Di ba, kahit sabihin na nating Mercury ka or Star Drugs or Watson ka, ano pa ba? 'Di ba, minsan may nakakalusot eh. Kasi nga ito yung reality sa in a world economy, may problema. We call it as a gray market. The third market is the white market. So these are all legal, official, authorized to, or intended market for goods and services. So sabi rito, the white market po in some goods such as yung adoption of children. Kasi pag nag-a-adopt tayo, di ba, may papers and authorized yan. Kaya lang, in some point, some say, or some are criticized, no, of being inefficient, no, due to the government regulation. Bakit? Kasi may mga ano tayo may mga instances tayo na kakapag-adapt ang family na hindi na dumadaan sa gobyerno 'di ba? Alam niyo 'yan, 'di ba? Normally kasi tayo kapag nag-a-adapt ng bata, pumupunta tayo sa area na kung saan nandoon yung mga bata sa DSWD, 'di ba? Tapos ipa-process 'yan, so ang daming hinihingi. Minsan matagal. Kasi syempre kailangan i-justify 'yan na talagang wala nang family kukuha dito at kung ano-ano mga problems for that. So dahil matagal yung family na dapat mag-a-adapt, nat-iinip, 'di ba? So anong ginagawa ng family na nag-a-adapt? Hahanap na lang sila ng isang nanay na buntis na willing ipamigay o ipa-adapt yung anak. 'Di ba? Ganon. Tapos sila nang gagastos lahat, hihintay ng mga anak, pag nanganak, tsaka ipa-transfer sa pangalan na pinalabas na ikaw ay nanganak na dahil hindi ka naman nanganak, di ba? So ito yung nangyari. So ibig sabihin, nagiging irregular to. I mean to say, illegal dahil hindi dumaan sa tamang proseso. Di ba? Hindi siya dumaan sa tamang scrutiny ba, sabi nga natin. So ito yung tinatawag natin nagkakaroon ng efficiency on the part of the government. Na sana hindi magkakaroon ng problem kung mismo yung ating system, yung regulation, maayos. Okay? The fourth market is the pink market. Take note. Pink market po is a state-sanctioned, no? But immoral activities such as war or aggression. It is the market of government-endorsed monopolies, no? Oligopolies of useful services. So, pwedeng sabihin na natin sa mga oils, sa pagbebenta ng mga equipment, no, mga pang-military equipment. Yan, mga state sanctions po yan kasi kailangan. Okay? Next, the number 5, the most popular of all, no, the red market. So the trade of human flesh, ayan, blood in a form of sex racket, child trafficking, even selling of organs, no? It's actually part of the red market yan. Ito po ay immoral activities. Ito po ay pinagbabawal. It is banned po yan, no? Banned by the state. Not only in our country but all countries of the world. Nakaban po yan. Okay? But again, sabi nga natin, hindi natin nakakayang hulihin kasi nasa part o siya dahil kumbaga it's ano no. But again, sabi nga natin, nagkakaroon yung problema. Despite of the fact that all countries of the world, particularly in Asian countries, in East Asia or any country ka, no, part of the regions of the Asia, despite of they are doing their best in order to achieve the best, still may mga problems po na na-encounter. Again, these are the 5 markets. Tandaan po natin, the white, the gray, the pink, the black, and the red. Now, we need to understand the global role of the United States. So, na-discuss na natin yung iba, pero ito lang ay mga previous understanding po. So, the growth surge of the world's largest economy provide a significant boost in a global activity. In contrast, uncertainty about the direction of the US policies, so kagaya ng policy ni Trump, 'di ba? Medyo nakakagulo. But again, for them, it's okay na rin kasi nase-settle na eh. This column, of course, investigates the spillover channels linking the US and the global economy. An acceleration of the US growth would also have a positive effect of the rest of the world, not counterbalanced by increased trade barriers. So ito yung nagiging problema ngayon. However, policy uncertainty could also hamper global growth and could also particularly had effect on investment growth in emerging and developing economies. Because of its size and interconnectedness, developments in the United States economy are bound to have important effects around the world. The US has the world's single largest economy, accounting for almost a quarter of the global GDP, okay, 1/5 of the global FDI, and more than a third of a stock market capitalization. Kaya lahat ng bansa naka-aim lagi sa Amerika kahit na alam natin medyo hindi nagiging maganda ang nagiging policy nila. Okay? It is a most important also exports destination for 1/5 of the countries around the world. The US dollar is the most widely used currency in the global trade and even of course in financial transactions kasi yun ang napag-usapan di ba? And changes of course in the US monetary policy and even investors' sentiments play also a major role in driving global financing conditions, no? Based ito sa result in the World Bank in 2016. At actually, ang tawag dyan ay financial crisis that time. Business cycles in the United States, other advanced economies, no? And emerging market and developing economies have also been highly exposed. Okay? So this parity reflects the strength of global trade, also the financing linkages of the U.S. economy with the rest of the world, but also that global shocks drive common cyclical fluctuations. So there are different cyclical business cycle, no? So nandiyan na yung cyclical, nandiyan din po yung hindi ako nagkakamali yung frictional kasi part yan eh. Okay? Now, this was also particular case of the time of the 2009 or 28 to 2009. Actually, meron po mga other financial problems no, kagaya natin sa Amerika, no? I understand in 2008, 2006 ata, 2006, 2008, nagka-problema po sa ng Amerika eh. Nagkaroon po ng time na nagkaroon sila ng recession. So tandaan po natin, there are 4 cyclical characteristics, no? Take note po yung depression, recovery, prosperity, and recession. So si Amerika by 2006, hindi po ako 2006 or 2008, nagkaroon po ng recession. And lahat ng bansa nagkakaroon po ng depression. No? Nade-depress sila dahil bagsak talaga ang financial nila, no? Yung mga Asian countries po, yung iba po doon napunta yung iba nag-recess, pero yung mga Southeast Asian countries, inaaral nila yan. And they are also thinking na ang Pilipinas bibigay that time. So hindi tayo bumigay. Nandun tayo sa level ng recovery, middle ng recovery, or upper ng recovery, but not upper on the property. Nasa middle tayo in prosperity and recovery. So binigyan tayo ng rate ng United Nations as Moody rate na tinatawag. Kaya maganda. However, ang Amerika po nag-recess. And that's first time po yan, no? Na, actually, hindi naman first time, but for more than years, nung bumalik na sila sa system, na ulit-uli yung ganon. Yung tinatawag na financial crisis or problem. So, it is also a new phenomenon, however, although there are 4 recessions in global economy, so sinabi natin kanina, from since 1960, so doon kina-classify kung recovery, prosperity, recession, etc. Imagine mo, 1960, 1975, 1982, 1991, and 2009. Yan po yung mga impact ng recession na tinatawag. Okay? Countries po, yung magkaroon ng mga overlap, no, mga severe recession on the part of United States. Now, foreign direct investment also impact on economic growth. It also had a positive growth effect in wealthy countries and also increase in the trade, resulting in a higher growth rates. Furthermore, sabi dyan, globalized countries also have lower increase in government outlay and even taxes po, and also lower levels of corruptions in their government. So ako personally, no, in my opinion, siguro may mga increase tayo, lower increase of government outlays, no? Although yung taxes kasi, especially yung corruption, hindi po siya nalo-lower di ba? Lalong tumadami nga kagaya sa Pilipinas. So there is also increased competition from the globalization that helps to stimulate new technology development. Kaya we need to invest. So ini-encourage po ibang mga countries na mag-invest. Kaya nga yung idea ni Bongbong Marcos, 'di ba, yung Maharlika funds, ayan, dapat inaalam natin yan Nasaan na yung Maharlika funds? Ang laki-laking pera nun. 'Di ba? Kung ninakawan na nga tayo ng billions of pesos or trillions of pesos paano kaya yung Maharlika funds? Although the purpose of Maharlika funds is to invest para kasi kumikita. Pero dapat alam natin kung nasaan. Kasi baka binubulsan na lang nila. Okay? So globalization lead to so-called increased competition. That's why yung picture natin, nag-uunahan sila. And this is the impact, no? Ito po yung reaction ng mga Asian countries, no? Mga countries, no? With regards to effect ng marketing. So nag-uunahan sila to achieve the success in order to also to, 'di ba? Sabi nga natin, to achieve yung success, ano po yung success? To get more profit, of course, success ng business. So part of the development in order to achieve better life, sabi nga natin, we need to have a better political system. O nandiyan tayo sa politics na tinatawag. So in a regionalism, in terms of politics, regionalism is a political ideology focusing on the development of political or social system. So alam naman natin that all leaders, every time na ine-elect natin sila, alam naman natin that they should and they must have a so-called platform. Hindi naman tayo mag-elect kasi kung hindi natin naiintindihan yung platform nila, di ba? So, in other words, sabi nga natin dito, with their political ideology, we can understand ano yung patutunguhan or direction ng ating bansa o ng magiging tatakbuhin ng ating economy. So, dapat ang ating mga leaders, they have a good ideology, but not on the personal matter, but on the part of for economic development. Hindi yung personal, hindi yung pansarili, but rather for the sake of everyone. Kagaya ng ginagawa ng mga regions, no, from the north na ibinabalik sa tao. Okay? So there are 3 distinct elements, no, in the politics of regionalism. One is the movement demanding territory, autonomy within unitary states. So ito po yung mga bansa na nag-aas ng separation. Like for example, Russia, the Union Soviet of Union Soviet Socialist Republic, 'di ba? USSR before. So they asked for a demand of separation, kaya ngayon naging Russia na lang siya. At yung mga bansa na dating part ng Russia o USSR before ay naging independent states na lang sila. So like yung Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, ano pa ba? Basta may mga tantan sa dulo. Ayan. Number 2, the organization of the central states on the regional basis for the delivery of its policies, including also dito yung regional development policies. Political decentralization is also included and also the regional autonomy. So yung pagiging independence nila. Okay? So there is also delineation of region. So ito po yung 4 classification. Number 1 is administrative division, culture, language, religion, and among others. So let's start with administrative division. So when we say administrative division, we are referring to the local officials. Ito po yung tinatawag nating local government. So aside from the national, kasi always, ang mga tao kasi, we always tend and looking for support from the national. Lagi na lang yan. But remember, meron pa rin tayo mga leaders which is supposed to be in charge for our areas. Kaya minsan, nagkakaroon tayo ng galit, no, sa gobyerno, nagagalit tayo sa mga tao sa national. Kasi doon tayo naka-IF, di ba? Pero hindi natin tinitignan yung trabaho ni mayor, trabaho ni governor. Ano ba talaga trabaho nila in a city, in a municipality? Fortunate kayo kasi kung kayo po ay nakatira sa Makati, kung kayo po ay nakatira sa Taguig, kung kayo po ay nakatira sa Pasig o sa ibang mga municipality like Marikina, Quezon City, 'di ba? Binibigay 'yan, nakikita natin. Pero syempre kung ikaw ay nasa Makati, Pasig at saka Taguig, yan, nagko-competition kasi yan tatlong yan eh. So nagpapagalingan sila. Kaya nangyayari na ibibigay sa tao, 'di ba? So natutuwa yung tao kasi nakikita nila nagfa-function sina mayors. 'Di ba? Nakikita nila nagtatrabaho, may nakikita silang nagpagbabago at ibinibigay sa tao. Eh what if yung iba hindi? Kagaya sa amin, hindi namin alam sa amin kung may mayor ba. Palamuti lang nangyayari. So lahat ng tao lagi umiiyak na lang. Pag sinabi ko umiiyak, sumisigaw ng tulong galing kay ganito. May kami tulong sa national kay senator, tulong kay ganito, kay vice president o whatever. Bakit hindi tayo muna bumaba sa local? Now remember, the duty of local government is also to supervise, no? To supervise, to check his people. So kung may problema sa area at ang problema ay nasa area itself, dapat ang local. The government, the national is only what? Naka-assist lang yan if ever the local is not doing or functioning or if ever there is a lack of capital or support. Sila yung magsusupport, magpopondo. Hindi lahat national. So kapag hindi po nagiging maayos, tandaan natin magkakaroon ng conflict yan. Ayan, mag-aaway tayo. Diba? So imagine mo yung picture. The country may also be divided into provinces, even municipalities. So kung itong picture natin, dalawang municipalities yan, pero walang daan sa gitna, magkaiba silang uri ng hayop na tinatapakan. Diba? Pag nagsama yan, mag-aaway yan, dalawang yan. Okay? So with administrative division, normally their purpose is mag-usap. To link the bridge into one so that they will talk in order to settle all the kind of problems within their areas and also the other areas. Magtutulungan tayo, hindi pwedeng nakatira lang tayo sa isang isla. That's why you need to connect a bridge. Di ba? Para ma-achieve natin yung ating objective. Okay? So para pasa. Ayan po yan. Okay? So, next is cultural area. Anthropology and geography, they are inseparable. Hindi natin pwedeng pag-iwalay niyan because anthro is referring to human, no? Human development existent in that society area. Hindi siya anthro yan, yung behavior tawag natin. Geography kung saan nandun yung tao, nakastay. So the cultural regions, cultural sphere, cultural area or cultural areas referred to as a geography which with one relatively homogeneous human activity or complex of activities culture. Okay, or activities, so referring the culture. These are often associated, no, with an ethno-linguistic group and the territory it inhabits. The specific cultures po often do not limit their geographic coverage to the border of the nation state or to the smaller subdivision of the state. Cultural sphere, we call it the cultural sphere of influence, may also be overlapped or form concentric structures of macro cultures encompassing smaller to local cultures. Ibig sabihin yung impact, no? Ano ba yung mga local cultures natin? Yung sa atin. Diba? Nai-influensya niya, nababago, naiiba. Different boundaries may also be drawn depending on the particular aspects, no, of interest, such as religion and folklore versus the dress and the architecture versus the language. Cultural areas po are not considered equivalent, sabi dyan, to the so-called culture crest, okay, or known as culture cycle. Another one is the language. It is very important ito, no, in the delineation of region kasi with language we can understand. Okay? Dahil may mga cases na yung language natin ay na-extend to other areas. No? Like sabi nga natin, no, na yung mga spoken languages natin, dialect, local, although may specific languages na ginagamit for international, for trading, etc. Meron din tayong sariling local. And sabi ko nga kanina, some languages ay minsan nag-extend yan with other areas. Okay? Or acceptable. Okay? So internationally, for the purpose of this European Charter, with regards to languages, okay, meron tayong regional or minority languages to consider. So ito po yung national at yung local dialect na tinatawag. Traditionally, no, it is used with the given territory of a state by nationals, no, of the state to form or who form a group numerically. And the other one po, no, different from the official languages of that state. There are also many cases when a regional language can also be claimed greater numbers of speakers. So, for example, ito yung Catalan. 'Di ba? It is a language po yan ng Spain. Pero, pwede rin siya ma-extend to Italy, France, Albiel, no? Which is also another national language on Andorra. Okay, has also more speaker naman din than the Finnish and the often or Danish, 'di ba? Another one, similar din po siya sa China, no? Situation exists in China where the Wu, pakicorrect na lang po ako, Wu spoken po in the southern Jiangsu or Jiangsu, which is northern yan, and the general area of Shanghai, yan po yung Zhejiang. Oh, I don't know kung paano i-pronounce kasi nagmamandarin kayo, no? By more than 90 million speakers po yan, is spoken natively, no, by the speakers but than French rather, yung Ye or We, okay, Chinese, no, is a Chinese regional variety spoken in Guangdong, Hong Kong, and nearby area in China, with more than 60 million locals, overseas speakers, no, in like in North America, which is part of Malaysia then. Nandyan din yung outnumbered siya ng Italian in number of speakers, di ba? There are also other languages, no, na sinasalita, yung like yung Cantonese, 'di ba? Cantonese, if I'm not mistaken, that's in Macau. Tama ba ako? Tapos yung Mandarin, saan ba pwede yung Mandarin na yan? Saan daw ba, 'di ba may Mandarin subject kayo? Oo. Saan daw siya pwedeng gamitin niya? Ano ba yan, Hong Kong din ba? Hong Kong ba o Taiwan? Hindi ko alam. Basta meron siya. Okay? Anyway, so dialect in the minimum dialect group have also around 17 million speakers, mainly in Fujian and nearby in Taiwan, but also in the Southeast Asia like Malaysia and Singapore. Diba? So na-extend din siya. Okay? So remember, in a language, there should be a speaker and the listener. Diba? Kasi pag walang nakikinig alam mo mangyayari diyan. Chaos kalalabasan. Now, in regional languages may also be closely related to the state's main languages, no, official. Okay? So sa case natin, meron tayong Filipino ang ating language, no, para lahat tayo nagkakaintindi. But again, pag tayo nasa area natin, no, sa mga provinces natin, meron kayong mga sariling dialect na tinatawag. So like ito, sa Frisian languages, spoken din siya sa Netherlands and Germany, which is also belong to the Germanic family. Nandyan din po ang Gotnish language, which is a regional language spoken naman in Gotland and related naman sa Swedish language. Okay? Even ito po sasabi natin kanina, yung Cantonese, one of the official standard variety pala to ng Hong Kong at Macau, sabi natin, ano? And of course, it also used regional languages in the province of Guangdong, People's of Republic of China. And then the rest. Okay? Now, an official language po, also called as state language. It is a language given especially as legal status in a particular country or state, okay, or other jurisdiction. Typically, a country po, official language po, refer to the language used in the government. So in our case, ang Philippine setup, ang language na ginagamit natin English and the other one is Filipino. So kung may magsalita ng kanilang lengguwahe, I don't think maiintindihan siya, 'di ba? So madalas talaga ay yung Filipino or yung English madalas. Kasi yung English kasi ginagamit ng mga intelihente, di ba? While yung Filipino, ito po yung mga low average people madalas yun ang ginagamit. Okay? Para mas madaling maintindihan. Dahil ina-address nila kasi talaga sa tao eh. Kasi pag yung mga intellect people nag english na yan, so ina-address lang, hindi siya sa middle, but rather yung mga high level of people yan. So the term official language po does not typically refer to the language used by the people or a country, but by its government also as a means of expression of a people cannot be changed by any laws. Next, aside from language, we have religion. Religion and geography are inseparable because it is the study of the impact of geography. Ito po yung mga referring to the place and space on religion's belief, yung mga practices natin. Let's accept the fact, no? Hindi naman tayo magkakaroon ng mga other stories na history natin without knowing religion. Nakakonekta lagi sa religion eh. So another aspect of relationship between religion and geography, yung influence, okay, which is geographically idea of influence by religion, such as early of map making. Alam naman natin sa history, 'di ba? Nasa Bible po iyan, no? Kung paano nagkaroon ng mga tinatawag na changes, yung tinatawag nating bibliography or biblical geography, no? Kung paano na-develop yung time na yan during the 16th century tinatawag. Traditionally, the relationship between the geography and religion can clearly be seen by the influence of religion in shaping cosmology, understanding of the world. Diba? Totoo yun. Diba ang India, yung India, diba pag pinapanood, ewan ko kung nanonood kayo ng mga, ng mga documentary, nila, yung mga structure, lahat connected sa religion. At yung religion nila, nakakapag-foresee or nakapag-predict ng future. Imagine mo, ang galing. No? Pero connected sa religion nila. Okay? From the 16th to 17th century, the study of geography and religion mainly focused on mapping the spread of Christianity. Okay? So alam naman natin yan sa Bible kung paano lagi daw natatalo ang Christian, ang mga Muslim na mga Christians. Remember the Constantinople? Other traditional approaches to the study of the relationship between the geography and religion involves the so-called geological exploration of the working of nature. So kagaya halimbawa ng Spanish, 'di ba? Ano 'yun eh, geological exploration eh, 'di ba, religion. Okay? So thus geographers po less concerned about religion per se but also more sensitive to how religion as cultural features affect social, cultural, political, and environmental system. The point of focus is not the specific of religion beliefs and practices, but how these religious beliefs and practices are internalized by adherents and how this process po. So the key focus on the study of sacred places in the politics of identity, belonging, and meaning that they are ascribed to sacred sites. Yan. And the constant negotiation for power and legitimacy. Particularly sinasabi dito no, yung multicultural settings and the contestation for legitimacy, yung mga public approval, yung mga negotiations no, for the use of particular space are at the near of determining how communities understand, internalize, and struggle to complete, sabi dito, for the right to practice their religious tradition in public spaces. So, in connection again, go back with the politics, sabi natin, regionalism also aim to increase no political power. Okay? And sabi natin, no, including also influences which is available to all or some residents of the region. In fact, sabi dito, there are demands occur in strong forms, no, like ito po yung sovereignty, separatism, secession, and independence, as well as more moderate campaign for greater autonomy. Nandyan din po yung mga states' rights, decentralization, or devotion. Strictly sa regionalist daw, the favor the so-called confederations over unity nation state or unitary station state with a strong central government. They may also, however, embrace the so-called immediate forms of federalism. Kagaya sa Amerika, federal style. Diba? May kanya-kanya mga functions yung mga nila. Even sa mga other organization, despite of pero may mga kanya-kanyang functions sila. Okay? So political power in the social science and politics, okay? Power is the capacity of an individual to influence the conduct or the behavior of others. The term authority po, as explained, is often used for power that is perceived as legitimate by the social structure. Power can be seen as evil or unjust. So, ito po yung sa mga tao. Yun po yung mga leaders. Kapag po inuna ang political ideas, so nandun na po natawag nating evil. Evil power, tinatawag. Evil actions. Okay? So, this sorts of primitive exercise of power is historically endemic of humans. However, in a social being, the same concept is being as good as something inherited or given by existing humanitism objective that will help move and empowers or empower others as well. For general perspective, it derived by the factors of interdependence between two entities and the environment. For business perspective, the ethical instrumentality of powers daw is achieved and as much it is a zero-sum game na tinawag. Now, na-mention natin kanina sovereignty in political science. Sovereignty is the highest form of elements in the state. So since the Philippines is a state, so ang highest element natin ay sovereignty. Yan po yung sovereignty, people, government, and territory. So yung sovereignty po, it's actually a power yan. There are four types, namely domestic sovereignty, we have the interdependent sovereignty, international legal sovereignty, and also the Westphalian sovereignty. So lahat sila, different types of sovereignty, meron silang different purpose. But generally speaking, when a state has a so-called sovereignty, it is a protection of every country and state. Within the state itself, they are protected because there is what you call sovereignty. Ano po siya? Parang yan po yung nagiging shield natin sa lahat ng mga possible na mga abuses na gagawin sa atin ng kung anumang bansa ang gustong mag-abuse sa atin. Even the rights of the people, foreign entities are not right to question, to control, to manipulate the system within a state. Kasi meron siyang sovereignty tinatawag. Sovereign niya na tinatawag. So parang kagaya lang ng issue yan ni President Duterte. Inaresto, dinala sa Netherlands. Pero ang question natin, nasaan yung soberanya? Dahil unang-una, hindi dapat ang Netherlands ang magja-judge, ang maghuhusga sa isang Pilipino. Dahil ang soberanya ng isang Pilipino ay sa soberanya ng Pilipinas. Mayroon tayong husgado. So parang pinapakita mo lang dito na ang Pilipinas ay hindi isang estado, kundi isang kolonyal ng mga bansang makapangyarihan. So hindi tayo nawala sa colonialism na pinatupad dati sa atin o ginawa sa atin. So hindi tayo malaya. Bakit? Dahil hindi ka naniniwala sa justice system eh. Diba? Ba't mo hinahayaan? Ito po ay sample lang. Dahil lahat ng paglilitis dapat ginagawa yan. Kung itunutukoy ito ay epekto o pangyayari nangyari sa Pilipinas, dapat sa Pilipinas yan. Kasi saan siya nagkasala? Sa Pilipinas. Sino dapat ang humusga? Kapwa Pilipino, hindi banyaga. Anong alam ng banyaga sa kultura ng mga Pilipino? Sila, alam natin ng mga banyaga, fair kuno. No? Pag sinabi kong fair, walang discrimination, tama, makatao, maka-human rights sila. Pero yung ginagawa nila sa nangyayari sa mga bansa, sa ibang mga bansa at sa ibang mga tao, hindi po ba anti-human rights yun? Sino po ba gumagawa ng mga negatibo sa kasaysayan? Di po ba ay violation sa human rights? Bakit po nagkakaroon ng mga wars? Sino nagkikreate niyan? Di ba mga westernized din? Kaya tignan nyo ito sinasabi ko lang kasi we're talking about sovereignty. It's very important po natin to dinidiscuss din siya. Kasi dapat alam natin kung saan ba dapat. Okay? Next, according to Emmanuel Wallerstein, another fundamental features daw ng sovereignty is that it is a claim that must be recognized by others. It is also to have any meaning. Any meaning po siya. Sovereignty po is more than anything else a matter of legitimacy. Ayan, sinasabi ko sa inyo. Required reciprocate recognition. Yan. Sovereignty po is hypothetical trade. in which two potential conflict sides respecting de facto realities. Okay? Particularly yung power exchange, no, such as recognition as their least costly strategy. So ayan pa lang malinaw na. Okay? Okay, so may question po tayo. Hanggang what time ba tayo mga kapatid? Baka ako lumalampas. Hanggang what time ba tayo? Ako yung nawawala na. Ay, 5:30. Dapat pala stop na pala ako kasi magbibigay pa ako ng activity. So, i-stop na muna ako dito. Saan tayo minto? 1:38. Tandaan nyo ha? 1:38. Okay. So, may question po ba tayo regarding for this? Kasi mahaba pa history. Okay, so for now, by the way guys, supposed to be kasi next week ay ano na natin, face-to-face dapat, no? Pero wait lang po tayo sa announcement, ha? Magpo-post po ako ng announcement sa inyo kasi may meeting kami sa Wednesday. So you will know if on Thursday ay tayo po ay next week ay magpe-face-to-face. Kung may announcement po. If never not,